So hi everyone. Today we're going to discuss about Snowflake. And about data migration project and DBT. Who can learn Snowflake? Okay. Who are working in IT, if you want to change the technology, if you want to switch to other company, so they can learn. And non-IT people. If you want to switch to non-IT to IT, those people and career gap, career gap. So these people can learn and freshers. Okay? So these people can learn Snowflake. Okay. We have many right. Why Snowflake? So why companies choosing Snowflake? Company choosing Snowflake. Okay, we have Redshift, BigQuery, Teradata, and on-premises, and some other cloud. Okay. So why the Snowflake cloud-based data warehouse? So cloud, so based, so data warehouse. Why Snowflake? Okay, so many companies they are using now Snowflake for the data migration project and development project and for data processing. So they are using the Snowflake. Okay, so why? Why? Because of like it have like multi-cluster warehouse, multi-cluster so warehouse. Okay, it means like it's scaling. So uh, we can whenever we need we can increase the warehouse size and whenever we need we can decrease the warehouse size. It's going to support three cloud providers like AWS and Azure and GCP. It's going to support three. Suppose if you take like Redshift, those it won't support all this one. Okay, so here you can check. Multi-cloud. So Snowflake going to support AWS, Azure, and GCP, and Redshift only AWS, uh, and GCP only Google BigQuery. And it is like a pricing model. Okay, we need to pay for what we use, pay for query, and it is like a node based. We need to pay always, and it is also like pay for query and slot based. And scaling instant within a second, we can increase warehouse and decrease the warehouse size, and we can suspend. This is a need manual, it will take some time, and this is serverless auto scaling. And zero copy cloning, so we can clone. If you have like 5 GB data, we have billions of records in the table, so within we can clone instant DB clone, we can back up the data, so but not available in the Redshift and BigQuery. So data sharing, there are different ways to share data in the Snowflake, like direct share, indirect share, and the Snowflake marketplace. But those things we don't have in the Redshift and BigQuery. And here we can handle the semi-structured data, and it's limited in the Redshift and in Google BigQuery. It's good. Okay. So concurrency, so multi-cluster warehouse. So I will explain everything. Okay, and then concurrency scaling. There is no concurrency scaling, and it's good. But here, zero maintenance. Everything maintained by the Snowflake only. So here need DBA, but in Snowflake we don't have DBA. Instead of DBA, so everything is done by the admin and by default Snowflake. Okay, and zero maintenance in the BigQuery. Okay, I will explain. Many people why Snowflake means. Okay, here I'm taking okay 2 GB 2 TB data from the Snowflake. I'm taking 2 TB. So here I'm using 1 TB data is active. 1 TB data is active. Data is active, and one more TB inactive. 1 TB is inactive. It means, suppose you know, right? We have like Ola, Uber, Rapido. Suppose if you want to go to one place to another place, we're going to book the Rapido and we're moving, right? So here we are not hiring that driver, and we are not buying that bike. Just we are traveling 5 to 10 kilometers, depends. So we are paying for that only. So what we are traveling, so we are paying for that only. So we are not buying that bike, and we are not hiring that person. So what we are traveling that distance only we are paying. Okay, so like that, it is like a pay as use model. So even we are taking 2 TB from the Snowflake, and we are using, it is only 1 TB is active and 1 TB is inactive. So here we need to pay for only 1 TB, only 1 TB. So that is active, so which is active, we need to pay for that one. This is one advantage in the Snowflake. And so multi-cluster warehouse. So what is multi-cluster warehouse? It's multi-cluster. Okay, so what is cluster? First, suppose we have, right, a bike, we're going to drive bike and car, right? So in that we have gear, first gear, second gear, third gear. So when we going to change the gear first to second, and third to fourth. Suppose we are traveling, if you want to go speed, we go to change the gear first to second gear, second to third, and fourth to like fifth. We're going to change. So like that, we have clusters in the Snowflake, that is multi-cluster warehouse. So first, I will use simple example. So one query I'm running in the Snowflake, one query I'm running. So it is taking the like 60 minutes time, 60 minutes time, and it is using one cluster. It means like, think like one game, using like one game. Then it's taking $1, right? Price $1. So what I'm doing, so this is a single cluster like warehouse, single cluster warehouse. So now I'm using the multi-cluster warehouse. Okay, so instantly we can use immediately, within 1 second we can change to like 1 to 10 clusters. Okay, so next I'm change is same query. Okay, so here I'm changing the clusters 1 to 10 clusters, and it's going to take only like 6 minutes. So for the same query, it means so running of the query time increasing that speed. So speed up in the work. Okay, it's going to take 60 minutes to only 6 minutes when we are using the, so 10 clusters. 10 cluster, but here we need to pay for $10. This is our advantage. So whenever we are running the query, if it is taking the like longer time, and it's not running properly, so then we can use multi-cluster warehouse, then going to take only minimum time, and like so 60 to 6 minutes. But clusters are, so 1 to 10 clusters we are using, and this is 1 to $10, we need to pay for this. Okay, this is our advantage in the Snowflake. And in Snowflake, architecture is a very important. In Snowflake, we have three layers. One is like a storage layer we have. Okay, storage layer. Then compute layer we have. Compute layer. Then we have cloud services layer. Cloud services layer. So storage layer, compute layer, and cloud services layer. We have three layers in Snowflake. So here what I'm doing, I'm running query. Okay, simply I will explain. So here the data going to store, here the query going to run, and it going to take care of the security about complete Snowflake account. Okay, so when the query is running in this compute layer, query is running. Okay, so here we have data like uh, ITB data we have, ITB data we have. So so this is like these three layers are like independent layer. Independent layer means like a decoupled structure. So separate layer. So for storage we have separate layer. For compute we have separate layer, and for cloud services we have separate layer. So that's why when we run the query, so even we have large data in the Snowflake like 5 TB data, so it won't affect by the query. Okay, it means like when we run the query, so this query it won't affect by the this 5 TB data storage. So this is one advantage. Okay, so this is what, okay, like a decoupled structure, we have separate layers in the Snowflake. So when we run the large query, so it won't affect by the, so large data, even we have 5 TB data or 10 TB data, so it won't affect. So this is one advantage. So this is the main reason why many companies are choosing Snowflake, and for the data migration project and development, and for analytics, and for data processing. For data processing, we are using the Snowflake. And Snowflake have three cloud providers like AWS and Azure and GCP. So this is AWS from 2014 they are using, Azure 2018, and GCP from 2019 they are using in the for the cloud provider to the Snowflake. This is one advantage. And it is SaaS model. So what is SaaS model? So like no need to install anything, no need to install anything. So simply we can create an account, okay, and we can start using. Just we need to have that username and password we can use. Okay, so everything infrastructure and management, everything done by the only Snowflake. So everything done by only Snowflake. So we don't do anything here. So everything done by completely Snowflake only. This thing. This is one advantage in the Snowflake. And so what are the domains going to work? Okay, here we have like a healthcare domain and a bank domain and retail. So these are presently projects are going. Okay, so in different companies like IBM, Cognizant, TCS, okay, and Tiger Analytics. So we have different. So everyone, okay, having one project on the on these domains like healthcare domain, bank, retail. So in our training, so we are going with healthcare domain. It's completely a data migration project. Data migration project. So here we're going to cover everything like Snowflake concept, okay, and Snowflake and DBT and AWS data loading services and Azure data loading services, and we're going to cover as well as like GitHub. So how to push data, how to get GitHub, and here we're going to cover like SQL. It's like we call like Snow SQL, structured query language in between. So we're going to cover every concept. We're not going to miss it. So these are main, and we're going to move data dev to test environment, test to and production environment. Okay. So completely, we're going to take data like large scale data, like so like 26 tables for data migration project, and so we have like so 200 columns in the tables. Okay, so more than nearly 200 columns or more than 200 columns, and 2 lakhs records we have the data, 2 lakhs records, 2 lakhs records. So these three we to take the data and we're going to do completely so data migration project. Okay, so first of all, what we need, or who is the client we need, what we need to know about who is the client. Okay, so client are going to talk with client going to talk with the this like admin. Okay, so how we need to talk with the client. Okay, and how we need to talk with the how we going to talk with the client. These things, and then again come architect. Okay, so then come like then Snowflake developer here comes. So then here we have like ETL developers, so DBT developers, and data analysts. So many like persons we have in the team. So in our team, we're going to have 8 to 12 members. So 8 to 12 members. Okay. So how the work was using like a Jira tool. So Jira tool, like a can you mute yourself like yourself? Okay, it's like we're going to use a Jira tool, and it's a waterfall method. Okay, like small portions data we're going to use. Okay, so this is complete data migration project, healthcare domain. We're going to receive data like so patients details and doctor details and like instance tables. Okay, and medicines, so medicines and packages like medicine packages, and so these type of tables we're going to discuss. Okay, suppose there is patient, how many times he visited in the hospital, and year wise total how many times, and each doctor, so each doctor how many times he visited each patient, and so what is medicine and insurance. So which patients are claimed the insurance details. Okay, so we're going to receive data from like different like Oracle, okay, SQL Server, okay, and CRM system, some hospital system. So we're going to receive data like CSV and JSON. Most of the time, we're going to receive data like a CSV and JSON types. Okay, so like structure, Snowflake going to support structure and semi-structure and unstructured data. So structures means like CSV, semi-structure like a parquet, this like JSON. Unstructured data means like so like images and uh, videos, okay, and audios. But here one thing, so everyone used to tell Snowflake going to support unstructured data. So structure is fine like CSV file, and semi-structured JSON file is fine. But how the Snowflake going to support these images, videos, and audio files? Okay, so directly we can't load these files into the Snowflake, but so when we have these files in the cloud means like in AWS, okay, S3 bucket, native blob storage container, and GCP. So in that scenario, we can access the its metadata. So through Snowflake, okay, we're going to give the connection setup and everything. So we can access the metadata. Then so it's going to support an images, videos, and audios. Directly we do not load these files into Snowflake, but we can access the some metadata of these files. That's why everyone used to tell like Snowflake going to support CSV files, structured data, semi-structured data, and unstructured data. Okay, these things. So workflow is like suppose think like so maybe data from hospital systems or Oracle SQL Server or CRM system to Oracle to S3 and S3 bucket. So from this place to Snowflake, then we will connect the DBT, then we will Power BI or Tableau they going to use. So in between what we need to know. Okay, here, see first how the data will come from serum to AWS. So there will be like ETLT. So who knows like Informatica? So those team going to push their data into S3 bucket. So from this point, okay, this point, okay, so as a Snowflake developer, so our work will be start. So what we need to do, we need to give some connection setup and everything. Okay, so from S3 to Snowflake, okay, if the data is bulk, so what you do bulk data, and if data is continuous data, and if data is like incremental data, incremental process, and if you need immediately transformations, so we have dynamic tables in the Snowflake. Dynamic table. This is new features in the Snowflake. So I'm going to cover what are the new updates. So those things, and we have iceberg tables. So usually we have like tables, uh, permanent table, transient table, temporary table. So the basic tables, but some advanced tables we have in the Snowflake like hybrid tables, dynamic tables, iceberg tables. So those we going to and the external tables, those things. Okay. So here, okay, after loading data into the S3, we need to connect with the Snowflake direct. So previously, if you know simply, so without DBT, if you know like SQL and Snowflake and some AWS services, then you can become like a Snowflake developer. So, but nowadays it's like so we need to go with when any one advantage tool, with any advantage tool. So we are in the training we are going with the so DBT, DBT. So after loading data directly, we need to connect with the DBT. So it is like we have so ETL tools, right? ETL tool and ELT tools. Okay? So like ETL means extract and transform and load, but it is a ELT approach. Okay, so extract, we need to extract the data that Informatica team will do it. So and they're going to load data in S3. After that, we need to again load data into the Snowflake. So now after that, we need to do the transformations. So this is your first interview question. They going to is DBT is a ETL tool or ELT tool. So DBT is ELT tool, extra tool means like first we need to extract data after loading data into the warehouse, into the Snowflake warehouse. Then we need to connect with the DBT. Then we need to do the transformations. Okay. So before DBT directly they are doing with the SQL Snowflake. Then after with the Power BI. But nowadays, so we are doing the everything in the DBT transformations because of so we have like some lineage graph and we know where data is coming from. Like we can move data easily, dev to test, test to production, and we can schedule the job easily. And so simply, I'll give an example. Suppose we have A table and B table and C table. So in Snowflake, we have one join or A to B and B to C. We have one join. So now B2C. Now if you want to join with the three tables, so what you do in Snowflake again, we will write the entire code A to B and B to and C to C. So we will write the entire code if you want to join three tables. Already we have code A to B and B to C. So, but we can't use this code directly, but we need to rewrite the every code and we write like A to B, B to C. We need to join the tables, join the table. But in DBT, we don't do like that. So we already have A to B code. So within one net, okay, we can give a name like D, and here we have B to C, and we give name like D. Then we create directly. We going to join. So D to E. So this is an advantage of Snowflake, and also Snowflake are not support for the constants. Constants means right, not null, unique, primary key. Suppose I give the primary key to one column like for employee ID or patient ID, and give the primary key. So I'm loading 10. Okay. So again, I'm loading same data. So the Snowflake going to accept. Why? Because so Snowflake is data warehouse. Okay. It need to accept the data even we are receiving the duplicate. So even we are giving the primary key, so it going to accept the data. So but if you try to same thing in the Oracle, it won't accept. Okay. It won't accept. Only in Snowflake, it going to accept. Why? Because of Snowflake is so data warehouse, right? So you need to accept that data. So even if you give the primary key, it's going to accept it. So like that, Snowflake not enforce. So not enforce only like all constraints. Okay, primary key, unique key, not null. It going to only enforce not null only enforce so not null, but this is officially in the documentation. Snowflake only into not null, not null consent, but it's going to enforce with if it's uncoming, it's going to enforce default key also. It's going to enforce these things. Okay, so this is one advantage. Okay, Snowflake not enforce the all constraints. So, but in DBT we can do the test. Okay, even if we have duplicate data in the table, so we have unique we can do like a unit test, okay, and not null test, okay, not null test, and accepted. So values test we can do in the like we have different types. Okay, singular test we have, okay, and generic test we have. So this is okay. So this is after getting the DBT, then we going to create the models and everything, and after that we're going to share data with the Power BI. So in between what we do, why still DB. So we have one is like I have explained about uh, pay as use model and multi-cluster warehouse and this thing multi-cluster warehouse and so multi-cloud providers we have multi-cloud providers and SaaS model no need to install anything and we can move the data like dev to test to production. So still we have one more feature like so I have one table. So like I having like a doctor's table. So it is having the data is like 10 GB data and having millions of records, millions of records. Okay. So I'm working the dev and there are different users like 8 to 12 members. So I'm finding something from like I'm finding so each doctor how many visits to the each patient. That what is one task. Then there is another user. We have one more task. Okay, so about doctor's personal details, what is salary details? Yeah, for some person salary, email ID, those things is working. Okay, salary details. Okay, so it means like how many branches he is visiting so every in 1 month, how many branches is like that. You have different details. Eh? So one more task. So if I run same query and same table, and one more person doing the some and the same thing, and another work on the same table, it's going to disturbance, right? So what we'll do? So we need to copy this data. We need to copy that. So for that, we will clone this table. So within fraction of seconds, so within a minute, we can clone the table. Depend on the data and data value. So what is the storage and how many records in that? Okay. So within we can clone the data. So these table have the same millions of rows. Okay. But here, so this base table having the storage and storage cost, right? Storage cost. So need to pay. So, but here, even having the millions of records and you don't have the no storage and no cost for this, no cost. And with the zero copy means like So without paying anything, we can clone, and there is one important without duplicating data. Without duplicating the data, we can clone the data. We will copy the data. So cloning is nothing but we are copying the data. We are copying the data. So from one table to the another table, same table. Okay, we are cloning the data. So that is copy. So copying the data for the backup purpose we're going to use. But why zero copy means like without duplication. Suppose if you copy one file to another file, so that used to say like it's like so duplicate, but it's not duplicate, it's like a cloning. Even we can copy the data, so with zero copy cloning using clone, so it is not a duplicate data, so it is like original data, but we don't have the storage and no storage cost. So in depth we can go, that is in the class. Okay, so this is one advantage. And even we have time travel feature in the software. Time travel feature. So time transition like, okay, suppose I have one table, I have one table. Okay, so like think like table, like instance table, instance table. So I need to handle the data, right? I need to handle the data, but this is last month. Today is like a January month, so I have instance table, and so this March I'm having a new instance table, new instance table. So table, okay. So first, when I have table in the January, this instance table, okay, a few patients are claimed their amount. They claim the amount. So is everything is done. So what I done? Uh, so I dropped the table. I dropped that table. So I dropped table in the Feb. In the February, I dropped this table. Then again, March came. I have received a new instance table. So again, in this data, some same patients. Okay, so repeated, same is repeated. So, but when they're claiming it's not successful because of, so already they claim in the February. So if in January, so they dropped the table in February, but again these same patients they are claiming their amount again for different occasion. Okay, for different. Okay, so again, so in that scenario, what we need to compare this new instance table with this old instance table in the January what we have. So in that scenario, we have dropped in the February, right? So using time travel, so we can recover the data. Okay. So using the time travel, so we can recover the data. This we can do up to 90 days back. It means in the time using time travel. So in the amount of data we going to back up to 90 days, we can go back and we can retrieve the data using time travel feature. So this is, we have different methods like offset, query ID, time stuff. So this is one advantage in Snowflake. Okay, so we can retrieve the any deleted data. This is one thing. And after 9 days, still if you want to recover the data, there is one more option, that is fail safe. That will done by the Snowflake team. It means the admin going to contact, you need to contact the Snowflake support team. Then there will be some employees. Then they're going to connect Snowflake engineers. So engineers are like who are working in the Snowflake company. Those are Snowflake engineers. Okay, they're going to discuss, and it will take 3 to 4 hours. It is fine. So, but sometimes that it will take more than 4 days. Okay, so depend on the data, what is that, which table is deleted at those things, and again they're going to create the database schema set tables, and they're going to share the data. So that is only up to this phase, only up to 7 days. Directly we don't do this, will done by the Snowflake engineers. So we need to contact. So totally we can protect the data up to 97 days. 97 days. So this is one advantage in the Snowflake. And so new thing. Okay, so last they have introduced, so before 1 year only, these dynamic tables in the Snowflake. So but not implemented in the projects. So but last 3 months, so they are implementing in the this bank domain, and as well as the healthcare domain and retail. This dynamic table. Why this dynamic table means? So what is usually when we are receiving data from the source to target? Okay, so directly first we need to load the data, and we need to clean the data, deleting duplicate values, data validation. So many things are there inside. So directly we can't do the transformations with the source when we are receiving from the source to target. So but in Snowflake, when we are receiving from source to target, so directly we can do the transformation. So directly we can do the transform with dynamic tables. So that is, so nowadays from last 3 months they are implementing in this project. Okay, so this is one advantage of Snowflake. Okay? Directly we can do the transformations with the dynamic tables. This is the new feature they are using. And so iceberg tables, those are related to the, so completely we can handle data with the, so cloud to Snowflake without loading the data into the Snowflake. So when we have data in the S3 bucket, so we can see the those data. So those are iceberg tables. But here important concept is like, so dynamic table is a very important part, very important. Okay. So why? Because of we know, right, we have different types of loads. Uh, Today I'm receiving some data like um, patient, this is like a patient ID, patient name, and some details like city and so city and this email, those details. Okay, so this is two records, and second record is like B and again so Bangalore and it is like email. Okay, so this is when I'm loading data from S3 bucket to Snowflake. So first day I have received data like this, like some, so 100 records. Think like 100 records. Yeah, 100 records. So next day, second day I'm receiving so 200 records, 200 records. So in that already this old data, okay, this old data and new 100 records, new 100 records. Again third day. Okay, again this 200 old data and again new be 150 records, new one new data, new data. So what will happen here? Okay, so how we going to handle data, how we going to handle these data? So first day when you are receiving these 100 records, so what you will do, you will create a one table and you going to load the data. But again, if second day you are receiving some old data and again new data, right? So if you load same data into the same table, it's going to be duplicate, right? It's going to duplicate data. So this is not good. If you load duplicate data, again you need to delete those duplicates and everything. So again for the third day also again 200 old, again new record 100. So this is what we usually we do. First we will create table. So next day we will truncate the table and we will load. Again third day we will truncate the table and we will load. If we do again and again this process, it will take the time and we need to pay for more. We need to pay more. So to avoid this, we have like incremental. So merge concept task here we have. Okay. So it's going to like track the data. CDC change data capture. So change data capture. Change data capture we have in the Snowflake we are using. So what we do, we're going to create only one source table, one target table. Whenever the source table going to reach the data, the target table going to the stream table, we have streams, we are in stream side. So streams table going to track the data. It's going to capture the data. It will insert only any new inserts, new updates, and it's going to delete any records are deleted. These it's going to capture data. It means first day we're going to receive 100 and second day we're going to receive 100 only new, any new records or any updates or any deleted, it's going to capture, it's going to implement on this target. So like that again third. So this is the process we are following incremental method. Okay, using slowly change of dimensions. Okay, so this and but nowadays instead of using these incremental method directly, we are using the dynamic tables. Okay, we can do the transformation with that. Okay, instead of incremental, so dynamic tables. Okay, for every time like 5 minutes, okay, or 12 hours, 6 hours, 1 hour. So depends what we are mentioning that when we are creating the dynamic table. So it's going to run for every 10 minutes and it's going to capture the data. It means instead of incremental method, so we are using the so dynamic table. This is one advantage. And we have stages in the Snowflake. Stages in the Snowflake. So usually what is this like stage? So directly we can't load data into the Snowflake from S3 to Snowflake. Okay, in between we need a stage. Like stages are like two types. like internal stages and external stages. So external stages, like suppose we have internal stages when we are loading data from on premises to Snowflake. Like on premises means like local machine, local means like our computer. So from our computer to we are loading data into Snowflake. So we are using internal stages, and when we are loading data from external stages, like so AWS, Azure, GCP, those are external stages. Those are external stages. Okay. So first of all, what is the stage? So think stage. First of all, so there is person living in Bangalore. Okay, and this is like A is living in the Bangalore, and here B living in the Hyderabad. Okay, both are in different places. Here A can't move to B place and B can't move to the A place. So, but there is another person like C, he can move to both places. So A having the mobile phone, okay, he will take that mobile phone C, and C will give to the B. This usual process is working like a mediator. Mediator. So here is like a CSV file. So directly we can't load into the Snowflake table. This is be like Snowflake. So this is C is like stage. So we need to put this CS file into the stage. After that, we need to copy command. Using copy command, we need to load this CSV data into the Snowflake table. This is the process here. Like so, stage. It works like stage. So that's why we have stages, internal stages like user stage, named stage, and table stage. Here, external stage, AWS, Azure, and GCP. Okay. So there is only 1 minute. Okay. What do you do now? So everyone rejoin with the same link. Rejoin with same link. Don't forget. So the meeting is going to end. Now rejoin with the same link. Okay, rejoin. Okay, don't forget rejoin. So we'll continue the class. Okay, still some time. Rejoin with the same link. Okay. So this is about stage. Okay. Like this, we have many concepts. Snowflake. Okay. So to discuss everything, it will take a lot of time. So I will go with the directly with the syllabus. Okay, I will show you. Okay. First, I will show the syllabus, then I will go with the migration project. Okay. So first, we will go with the project flow. Okay, what is the project? Here we have C. So we have different source systems like Oracle SQL Server, and we're going to receive like patient records, claims, billing data, and their ETL team, Informatica, and other tools like ADF they're going to use. They're going to push this data into the this S3 bucket. So, or Azure Blob or GCP storage. In our training, we're going to use S3 bucket main, and we're going to discuss about even we're going to load data from the Azure Blob also. So you can put in your resume AWS S3 services and Azure Blob storage. Okay. So first we're going to load into these data in this raw layer. So copy into tables. So after that, usually we're going to move data into staging layer. So we will clean the data, like cleaning data means like deleting duplicate values and removing unnecessary spaces, string. Okay, here we need to know SQL concept, everything like deleting duplicate values, joins. Okay, trim, date functions, to-char functions, everything we need to know. Okay, so here the data comes from here source system to S3 and again into the Snowflake raw layer. So after loading, we're going to first what we do, we need to back up the data using zero copy because of we don't want to miss the data, right? So we're going to save the data. We need to save the data. So we're going to back up the data. So after loading the data, so then again in staging layer, we need to clean the data, deleting duplicate values, and remove unnecessary spaces using trim. Okay, so if any null values we need to handle like NVL, NVL2 plus we have different how to handle null values. Okay, those things also I will explain. So and again we need to create fact and dimension tables in the curator layer. So this is very important. Okay, but the learning only Snowflake concept is not good. So you need to go with like uh, data modeling concept. If you know what is a fact table and what is the dimension table, what type of data stores in the fact table, so what type of data stores in the dimension table, and so here star schema and Snowflake schema. Okay, normalization, denormalization, and confirm dimensions. Okay, and slowly change your dimensions. These things you need to know. If you do not know these things, okay, so you want to work in the Snowflake. Okay, must if you know Snowflake concept, that is good. but also you need to out of some concept like star schema, Snowflake schema, so data modeling concept. Okay, those things also I will teach. Okay, so in this create a layer, and in between you're going to apply streams, task. Is it type 2 for access the statistical data? Okay, start and data. So this is like if you know like in Python machine learning, okay, you can use Snowflake Cortex. Okay, so in future I will start. I have not started still. Uh, Looking at that project is going. Okay, and the BA reporting tablet. Okay, so these are only layers, raw layer, staging layer, created layer. After loading data into this raw layer, so then we going to connect with the DBT. Then what we are doing the transformation. So it's going to reflect in this staging layer. After applying the business logic, it's going to reflect in this curated layer. Here, like raw data, clean data, like ready data for using for BI tools like fact and dimension tables, like total visits of patients and total doctor visits and total instance details, total sum of instance details, so amount details. Those things we're going to calculate. Okay, year and what is the medicine sales details and input and output details. Everything. What is the business logic? Who going to provide business logic like client? Client going to talk with admin going to architect. After that, they going to discuss with admin with Snowflake developer. Then after DB developer, okay, in between ETL developer. Then Power BI team. Okay. So how are you going to talk? How are you going to behave in the your team? Everything will be shown. Okay. So after this, so how are you going to secure your data? So we have role-based access controls. So usually we can secure data statically, but in Snowflake, we can secure the data dynamically. So first one, or like secure views and secure metless views. So that is normal thing. But here we have some advanced like data masking policy. Like row level, we need to secure the data, and column level, we need to secure the data. Like we have the PII data, right? Like SSN, mobile number, or email ID. So SSN means like social security number, like Aadhaar card in the USC. Okay, the social security number. So how we need to hide those sensitive data. So suppose we have three rows: admin and analyst and some manager. So admin can see full data, and the manager can see only partial data, and analyst can see only completely highlight. Like suppose we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So admin can see 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, 1 to 8 digits, but manager going to see only 1 2 3 4. After that, a star 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 mask data again. But analyst is going to see like only everything 8 digits like star 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 star. So this is how we're going to do using dynamics policy. Okay, this is column level policy, and are we going to apply like row level? So suppose we have different departments. Okay, like your patient department, doctor department, medicine department. Okay, so patient department they're going to see only patient details like row level, and doctors going to see only doctor details like employees and employees and okay, inside the company only those details like that. So we're going to okay mask the data. That is important. And data sharing like or direct sharing. If I am having a Snowflake account, other person having a Snowflake account, so we can share. So direct sharing and indirect sharing. So we don't have, we need to get the Snowflake account. And the third one, so Snowflake marketplace, those things, everything. And this is the important. So environments. So we're going to work in the dev, QA, and the production. We have three environments, right? Okay. So how going to set up? Okay. So simply creating Snowflake account, creating database and table, that is not enough. That's basic thing. So even you can learn from the YouTube and some other videos. But here, so how are you going to set up dev environment? How are you going to create database and schemas? So under are you going to stages, procedures, and UDF functions, and then are you going to create a QA and then the main thing is how you move data. So dev to QA and prod. So there is like zero copy cloning, right? So there is one blender which they are doing. So in the interview they are asking you can move data using zero copy cloning, dev to QA, QA to dev, but you can't move data to this dev to production, QA to why? Because of so I have one table having 100 records here, 100 records here, so 100 records here. If I clone the data, so it seems like only 100, 100, and 100. So if any new data received, okay, new data received, it won't reflect in this production environment, right? Okay, so that is not good way and not secure way. So we need to connect with the GitHub. We need to move the data. So dev tools. Even if any new data received, it's going to reflect in QA. After that, it's going to reflect in the production run. So these things we need to know some sensitive topics. If you know those things, you can survive in the Snowflake. And how to schedule jobs, those monitoring and automation. So these things, okay. This is about project, okay. So source system Oracle, S3 bucket, Snowflake, connect the DBT, then do the transformations, then here go with Power BI generator. In between layers, raw layers, staging curated layers. So these are main layers, but in real time we're going to have like different names like presentation layer, final layer, reporting layer, like that, intermediate layer, and mart layer, those things. So these are environments, these are fixed. Dev environment, QA environment, production environment are different. These things, and we need to know who is the hierarchy, like account admin, security admin, system admin, public admin, user admin. So these things we need to know. This is project, okay. Oracle, S3, Snowflake, DBT, Power BI. We need to know about S3 bucket services, Snowflake, and DBT, and SQL is very important. Okay, out of 10, you need to know SQL 8. Out of 10, if you rate yourself, you need to know 8. So we're going to cover SQL also, no worries. Okay, like joining, okay, deleting duplicate values, window functions, trimming. So applying like help add, rpad. So those things we're going to do, okay. So here everything, project flow, some intro, theory. So and project team, and the we have 12 members, right? So those 12 members, what they going to do? So security RBAC, data modeling like star schema, Snowflake schema, then stages internal, then after external stages like using copy command, if the data is bulk and if the data is continuous. So this is one advanced topic. So Snowpipe, continuous data. So when we have receiving live data, we can handle. So this is common thing. Data loading is common thing, and copy command option is important. Okay, what we can mention that Snowpipe is a common thing, and how to troubleshoot the Snowpipe. And this is very important. Data loading is simple, but how to handle the error data, and how to cloning is a simple, but after cloning, what will happen behind in the Snowflake? We have three layers, right? What going to happen? So again, time travel, how to use it, and fail safe, how is it going to work? So table types, and new table types like dynamic iceberg tables. So types of loads and streams, tasks. So task is create task name, various name. That is simple thing. But what is grand task? What is parent task? What is a child task? How we can work with the multiple tasks? So slowly changing dimensions. We have like different, okay, type 0 to type 6. Okay. So we're going to discuss in real time. We're going to use type 2 and type 1. Okay, so these one, and the weaves. So normal weaves, metallized weaves, secure weaves, and okay, and now we have secure metallized weaves. But here important is, so what happen if you have multiple tables and writing the weaves? That is important. Why metallized weave? Okay, what are the different views? And UDF, user different functions. So if you have any requirement, if you not have logic in the Snowflake, we need to write that logic. So that is user different function we need to go and write. And the procedures, this is the very important. So even you're going to receive task like the procedure already, there is one written procedure, you need to modify that. Or you can take that reference and you need to write a new procedure. So how to call the procedure, who is the owner and the caller? So everything we're going to discuss multiple, and dynamic tables and iceberg tables. So how to secure the data, masking policy, data sharing. So what is the pricing in the Snowflake, and the billing, and the resource monitor, and what is the cache when you run the query, what is the tagging. So partner connect, pagination, and storage metrics, and again how performance tuning the Snowflake. So JSON data handling, okay, semi-structured data, and we're going to take tables like this. See, suppose if I'm taking drugs package data, this data we can load into the Snowflake. So this table have almost like, so more than, so 2,21,360 records. Okay, so total we have, so 26 tables, files. These data are completely healthcare domain. Okay, so these data we're going to load into the Snowflake. Okay, and we're going to do completely apply star schema and Snowflake schema, and how to manage database schemas, layers, and as well as environments, and different users. So we have 12 members, right? So each member how they're going to work. Okay, so that we need to know what we're going to discuss with this. So like that we're going to discuss. And again come to the Snowflake. So sorry, dbt. Here we have models. Okay, so simple why or dbt means here we have so reusable codes. It means I am writing one code, so the same code I can use anyway. Okay, and test, I can do the test to for data, maintain the data quality and everything. So metalizations, we can convert view to table to view, and we can handle incremental data. So using and fml, we have different methods. We have seeds, we can load data from db to snowflake using seeds. Like that is only seeds files, not json, only seeds. What is, so suppose I have table, but I don't know where it is comes from, so I can see the lineage graph and I can find the table. Cloud features, ginger templates we're going to use, and macros. These are like work like formulas. We can create macros in one folder. So wherever we need it, we can use it in that model. Again comes snapshots to access the historical. This is for metallization incremental data. This is for historical data. So even I want to access the last files of data, so how to manage those data using snapshots. And a hook. Hook is like what is happening before and what is happening later. It means like before running the model, after running the model. So how to, this is we don't use in real time. We have some analysis folder in the Snowflake. So usually we have, but we do not use it. But I will explain. It's simple like writing SQL queries only. So packages. Suppose if you are working in the Snowflake, so something is not running. So what you need to do now, you need to go to dbt utilities website, then you need to copy the code and you need to paste and you need to install in the dbt. So how then it's going to work? So completely CI/CD class nodes. It means like, so CI/CD like continuous integration and continuity. These are like topics, but this is the important. How are you going to schedule the jobs? Okay, and how are you going to move the dev to test to and the production environment? How to run the GitHub? So everything, there is a, like a YML file in the Snowflake. Okay, a YML file how come to handle the complete DBT project. So everything we're going to discuss. Okay, like completely. So not only syllabus. So most of the time syllabus we'll complete, we give everything, we'll cover everything in the syllabus. But so more than that, we're going to cover real-time work only. So simply going to get work, and if you want to write certification exam, you can go with. And if you want to go with interview preparation, so like from different, this is from one company, this is CBRE, and the EY company, Exaware, Infosys, Kyndryl, okay, which is so we have from companies like from different companies, right? For so everything, okay. So you can go with, okay, what I'm explaining in the class. So what I told in the class, like prepare this interview question. They don't ask only those questions. Even SQL, Snowflake, DBT, they don't ask. Okay, 100% I'm going to give. Okay? Those things. Okay. So I usually I will explain every topic, but it will take a lot of time. So when we move into the training, right? So we can go every topic and it's okay. We start with project flow. So the way of learning is, remember always, okay. So theory is the very important stuff, like theory. Okay, theory is the important, and after theory we do the practical. Practically we do the theory, and we go with first theory. Okay, and we go with the first theory, then we do practical, then real time use case. Okay, like directly we will implement this with large data. So we implement real time use case. We go with, okay. Then what are interview questions? The theory, practical, real time use case scenario, and we do real time completely. Okay, we first we go with theory, then I will do the practical, then real time application, then so we need to implement. Then what are the interview questions on the topic? Okay, in depth, basic to in depth. Okay, so you don't miss anything, everything will get. Okay, main thing is, okay. So Snowflake developer means nowadays, if you taking Snowflake developer training, if you go with the Snowflake admin training, so analyst training, architect training, the different, right? So but if you are applying even Snowflake developer, so you need to have the knowledge on admin side, architect side, and analyst side. See, admin, what I do like Snowflake developer, and so I used to load data, I do the transformation. So admin, what he going to do? He going to work with RBS policy and pricing policy. Architect, you're going to work with the data modeling, data and analyst. So you're going to give the database schemas and tables. You're going to give the objects. Okay. Okay. So, but we're going to cover everything. We're going to load data development. We're going to implement RBAC, and we're going to do data modeling, and we're going to work on objects. So even if you from this training, not only developer, we're going to cover so admin and arctic analyst. Okay, usually I used to say from 45 days. This is I will take 45 days. I used to say, but it taking more than 45 days. Like because of so in Jan first I have started the bar 21st January 21st. Still it's going. After 5 days it's going to be like 2 months. Okay, but still we have not come to the DBT. Still Snowflake is going. This week going Snowflake complete. Again DBT going to start next week. It means around it going to 2 weeks. It means like okay, so more in a year it more than 2 months going to take, but usually 5 days. So this time I will take some extra time, so not 1 hour, I take some extra time. So we will try to complete within the 45 days. And remember, I don't skip any topic. I will go with theory, practical, so real time application only. Okay, so as of now, anybody having doubt, so who can learn means like if you are working in IT, if you want to change, if you are the if your project is ended, you can go with learn this technology, you can shift. And if you're working non-IT, you can learn this, you can go. And if you have career, you can go. It means so if you do need to focus on more if you have career gap. Even if you are fresher, you can learn, you can go with that. Okay. So not only training, I'm the corporate trainer, so corporate mentor. Okay. From so and so company, I given in some uh, the industry training. Okay, corporate level training. Okay. So end-to-end training. No worries. So everything you will get simply real-time experience. Okay. So there are a lot of things. What is Snowflake? Everything. So I have not explained everything. So I given only some fee about project knowledge, how we going to work. So as of now, anybody having doubts? So one thing, remember, just ping me in the WhatsApp who want to continue the training. Okay. If I text again and again, it's not good. Okay. Ping me in the WhatsApp. So who want to continue the training? So you can ask now and you can text me. We will discuss if you have any doubts. Okay. So okay, I can thank you, Muhammad, Fanindra, Tiram, and Tirumal Ramakrishna. Thank you for joining. So any doubts, you can ping me. So, no, you can ask now. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Hi, Faninder. Yeah. Got it.
Can you tell me hierarchy? You have mentioned that Snowflake ADF DTL. So what's the hierarchy of this all this? I mean, step by step, and which take which I mean, which thing you
Hierarchy.
have to use the hierarchy? Yeah, in hierarchy.
Hierarchy. Okay. So here,
Yeah.
see, hierarchy means first mandatory SQL. Okay. Structured query language. Okay. If you are working with the Snowflake, you need to know SQL. If you are working in the DBT, you need to know SQL. Okay. So out of 10, we need to do the 8. Okay. We to know 8, you need to have a sequence that I will keep. And again, so after that, first we need to about Snowflake concept, everything. So how we going to create account and how to load data, what are the features in the Snowflake, those things we need. So again, we need AWS services and come to ADF, these services. Okay. So after loading data from these features into the Snowflake, then we need to know about so DB data build too. And so after this, we need to know about after loading, we need to know about the layers. Then after loading current the DB, we need to know about the layers and environments. Okay, and then after when we need to know about GitHub, okay, this thing and some job scheduling, how to schedule the jobs, these things we need to know in that. Because this is usual hierarchy. So mandatory SQL. If you are working with the DBT SQL need and Snowflake SQL, okay. So mandatory SQL and Snowflake, these data loading features. Then again, inside layer and again DBT, then layers and environments and GitHub job schedules. Then after, so we have like Power BI. Just we need to know like we need to talk with them, right? Okay, when we are creating a fact and dimension tables. So final we need to discuss like this is the highlight usually. This
Yeah,
comes.
okay. Yeah, it regarding the Power BI, you will explain whole the entire topic, or else you only just, what do you say? Just summarize the Power BI.
Okay, okay. What I'm going to teach, right?
Yeah, yeah, in the Power BI.
No, no, Power BI, we not going to work in the reporting. We
You
are
only
complete.
just, okay. Just you will,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
Up to we need to we going to give data, right, up to scheduling the
Yeah,
jobs. We move the data to curated layer. So after that
okay.
the team going to connect with some native connects are there. They going to, but there is separate team for
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. Got it. Okay.
So we going to SQL, Snowflake, AWS, ADF, DBT, layers, and GitHub, job schedules, everything. So before from source, the ETL team, separate team. After our work is completed, that reporting team separate team. In between, we are doing the every work. Clear?
Yeah,
Yeah.
fine.
Hi
No
Madhu.
problem.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Hi Madhu.
Yeah. Hi. Hi. Hi, Madhu.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just need to know after completing this course, what will be the job role?
You can apply for developer first. Go with preference. Give
Developer
it
only. So developer means we have
Snowflake
to
does.
develop a code something like that. Yeah.
Snowflake developer, okay, and
Okay.
a data engineer. Then, if you have any DBA knowledge, those things, then you can apply for admin and enlist.
Okay.
These things you can apply.
Okay.
Even if you have more,
So
if you
first
have
you should
more, more experience, you can go with the Arctic.
okay.
Yeah,
So we are going to start with Snowflake developer. Okay.
yeah, Snowflake developer.
Okay.
So in between comes like data engineer, Snowflake developer, enlist. These things come. Everything is comes under this
Okay.
one
Okay.
thing.
So we would have a developer role also for this one.
Yeah, Snowflake developer main role.
No, no, like developer means no, we have to develop code, something like that. We have to do that also.
Yeah, and means like after loading the data, we need to develop. But the development is like not like a Python developer, like some other Java, not like that. Developing
Okay.
like we need to develop the data. It means writing the queries and the performance, the query and the transformations, uh, applying the business logic, like that development.
Okay. So okay.
That is
Fine.
developing sense of like pattern, like they develop the code, right? So that is
Yeah.
the system. Like here we are developing the data
Okay.
data
Okay.
processing.
Using SQL only, we are going to develop the
Yeah.
data.
But if you know like Scala, Java, JavaScript, you can work.
Hmm.
So the advantage skills means like Python, SpyPark, and Airflow, Fivetron. Okay, these things if you learn, okay, good thing. And so nowadays, if you want to focus, in future I'm going to start on April. I'm going to start. Okay, so with Snowflake there is one important concept like data vault. Okay, so even Snowflake DBT data vault. This is the combination. So presently some projects are going. So this is going to trend. Okay. So but nobody knows about a data vault. So for that I'm going to cover here data vault like these data modeling concept like star schema, Snowflake schema, normalization, denormalization, confirmed dimension. I'm going to give those things. So
Okay.
in future if I add I will give that knowledge, but I don't charge for separate for that. Okay. So this is the trending, but not this 1 month. Okay, it will take. Now it's going in the some one company, like so someone. Okay, I can't reveal directly. Uh, it means having a lot of projects going to have Snowflake with that data vault. So remember, learn Snowflake, DBT, and data vault. Just learn about it. It is very good combination. So if I add, I will in April or May, I will teach. So
Okay.
I won't charge
Okay.
separately for that. I will give that data
Sure.
wallet
Sure.
also. Yeah, I'm working on that project. These things.
Fine. Fine.
Yeah,
Yeah, Madhu.
yeah.
Yeah, which one has more opportunities? Either Databricks or Snowflake?
Snowflake only. Snowflake. Snowflake. because of new technology, right? Okay, so many advanced features, and no, we no need to maintain. So they're going to maintain everything and pay as model, and here main thing architecture. So decouple, and instantly we can increase the within a 1 or 2 seconds we can increase the warehouse size. Yeah, cluster key and good performance, and so here for only date for storage cost it's going to take for 1 TB only $23, and we need to for query cost on high query cost cutting. But for that we have SQL, right? So we need to optimize the SQL queries. So that is meaning optimize the performance tuning and SQL queries. That is important. Okay. So, but we have right AI technologies like agent, generic AI. So after learning Snowflake, when you went to the work after going to the company, so start learning like Snowflake Cortex AI. If you learn Snowflake Cortex AI, you don't lose your job. Even if you we are having AI, agentic AI, even bots are came to the work, so you do not lose job. So after when you enter in the Snowflake project, so immediately start with learning Snowflake Cortex AI. So if you learn that, so we can survive. So if you get a job in the Snowflake developer, so minimum 8 years you can survive. You no need to change to other technology. Okay, simply you get a job. This make.
We can directly integrate Snowflake with GenAI,
We have
except
Cortex.
Cortex AI. No, no.
We have that option. We have Cortex in the Snowflake.
Okay.
Yeah, that one.
No, can we develop the RAG pipelines from Snowflake? Is it possible without using the Cortex?
No, without using Cortex directly. It means like they are working with Python, right? So they can
Mhm.
Python and PyPark. So machine learning, those things. But here, without using that, we can do everything in the
No,
Snow.
no, no. Cortex is already built-in models. So I want to use Snowflake with GenAI. Is it possible?
Snowflake with GenAI.
GenAI, yeah, RAG applications. I want to create the RAG application. Is it possible, or we have
It
to
can
rely on?
possible. Possible, it can
Okay,
possible.
okay,
Snowflake with GenAI, if you have light, so we can use. But directly, we going to connect. There are cloud providers, right? So that one we can use. Okay, in between we need these airflow scheduler tools and these things we need. Then we can connect with those things. So, but nowadays everything we are doing here only. Okay, so we can connect directly with Snowflake with GenAI. So, but first
okay,
line
okay. Thank you.
Snowflake Cortex say, then go with a connection. We have that connection. So Snowflake here we have right Snowflake plus GenAI. We can connect and we can do the work. That with our only AI models, right? So that is we are doing the Snowflake Cortex. Simply, if you want anything, okay, we can query and explains trend of patients visits and explain the trend of doctor trends. It's going to give everything. It's going to work like that. Snowflake Cortex AI. So that we can work with. It means like GenAI means not separately. It is built in GenAI in the Snowflake Cortex AI. We have Snowflake Cortex AI in the Snowflake, right? So that is the built-in generative AI. Am I clear? So we have Snowflake Cortex AI. So that is the inbuilt Gen AI, not outside. Or we can run with Python. We can do it. Okay. So clear? Okay, guys. Okay. So still, if you have any doubts, okay, you can ping me. Okay. Just give the confirmation. Then we will continue the class from tomorrow, same 8:30 p.m. Okay. I will discuss with everyone. I will make your comfort time. We will continue the classes. Fine. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.